This digital evidence video is a compilation of things that I have learned, perspectives that have changed, and previous ideas that have been reinforced during my time as a student in ADCI 280 as well as at Adelphi Elementary School. I've been a proponent of school uniforms most of my life, and my experience at Adelphi where the students wore uniforms supported my attitudes on their benefits. This slide shows arguments for the implementation of uniforms as well as against uniforms. I both wore uniforms and did not wear uniforms during my career as a student, and I do not feel that the arguments against them are strong enough to outweigh the benefits of them. As an observer of the students at Adelphi Elementary, I was able to see each student's personal style and originality regardless of their uniform. Each student was able to wear a variation of a khaki bottom, a red shirt, and black shoes. Each student also showed their original style personality through their hairstyle, jackets, notebooks, backpacks, and most importantly, their personalities. What I was not able to do as an observer was make an assessment of what type of person I thought each student was based on my own biases, which as an adult dealing with students, I feel is crucial. Originality is important, but I'm not sure school is the best place to assert these differences. I find that pressures related to dressing the part for a social group can be distracting and detrimental for school-age students. As far as the real-world argument, when they are adults, they will be the ones buying their own clothes and by nature will not be as impressionable as their school years. There's enough time spent out of school to assert originality that from my own experience and as a result of observing these students at Adelphi, I still feel that school uniforms are a benefit to have in schools. Although I do not feel that wearing uniforms changes schools that drastically, the reasons that I came into this experience with are still the same going out of this experience. Those reasons are that I feel uniforms lessen the financial burden on parents when shopping for school clothes. They make it easy to identify students. They remove the pressure of choosing an outfit in the morning, which can be stressful as well as time-consuming. I developed a new or changing perspective on the immersion of non-English students in classes such as math and science. My new perspective is that some measure needs to be put in place to expose a non-English speaking student to instructional material in their own language as well as English to minimize the chances of those students falling behind. The immersion of non-English speaking students is a new or changing perspective for me because before my experience at Adelphi and ADCI 280, I did not have an official perspective on the topic. I had never seen firsthand the impact that full immersion could have on a non-English speaker, and this experience gave me enough information to form a perspective. As a college student, I gained most of my information from reading or from my professor. I needed to see firsthand the impact of a student who did not speak English in an all-English classroom in order to understand its repercussions. This perspective has left the biggest impact on me out of all the information I've gained this semester. I struggled week to week based on what I saw in a full immersion 4th grade math class. Upon further analysis, I realized that full immersion poses challenges on the teacher, the English-speaking students, as well as the non-English-speaking student. I realized the teacher I was observing may not have had the proper tools, preparations, or continuing education necessary to accommodate the challenges of teaching a student with whom she had a language barrier. This perspective also ties in with my changed perspective on the No Child Left Behind Act. I was able to fully understand that the teacher has an obligation to teach the mandated curriculum to the majority of students in a certain amount of time. With the pressure to teach most, not all, of the students, it was apparent that the No Child Left Behind Act was almost directly related to certain children being left behind. As this is a new perspective for me, I do not know what the best alternative is to this method of full inclusion. But with the growing number of non-English speaking students in the United States, I feel that the negative impact that this method may have on a large segment of our society is great and worth being better structured. From this experience, I have maintained my same perspective on the No Child Left Behind Act, but I have developed different reasons for it. I have not been a huge supporter of the No Child Left Behind Act from its inception, though I did not fully understand the implications of the act to the extent I do now after being in an actual school. Adelphi Elementary School retains most of its teachers. This is a huge asset to this school. With the pressures of No Child Left Behind, it is evident that better teachers would be more tempted to leave schools comprised of students who may be less likely to meet the minimum requirements set by the No Child Left Behind Act. Rather than implement increased support for schools that face more external as well as internal challenges, they almost decrease the chances for success for these schools by placing very difficult and sometimes unrealistic challenges on the teachers. The standardization of tests and the strong focus on math and reading do not give credence to the different challenges faced by different schools, such as high numbers of non-English speaking students or high concentrations of illiteracy in certain communities. Nor does it give validation to different learning styles, subject strengths, or interests of the different students. I feel in order for the No Child Left Behind Act to realistically work, there needs to be professional support provided per school district. This needs to be structured and implemented on the ground level. People who are invested in and who have a stake in a community should be given the means to enhance the professional development of its teachers. This could help better equip and prepare teachers to deal with and accommodate the needs and challenges as well as the strengths of the students in their school districts. As a future teacher, I want to learn more about the most effective way to assess the process of a school without standardizing an entire state or nation. I also want to learn a more effective way to include not English-speaking students into English classrooms. I'm also curious how schools can implement continued learning for their teachers to really touch on and improve issues significant to their school. My experience in EDCI 280 has completely reinforced my drive and dedication to be a teacher. I used to want to be a teacher in a first or second grade class, but after spending this time in a fourth grade class, I realized that teaching at any level is truly my life's goal. Regardless of all the issues that teachers face, it was clear to me the role and impact teachers have on the lives of their students.